In 1939, on the edge of a world war, a 17-year-old French student sat with a strange thought. The solid world around him might not be what it seems. His name was Bernard d'Espagnat. He would become a physicist. He would devote himself to the deepest puzzles in quantum mechanics. And he would spend the next 70 years on one question. Is the world you see real? You are sure that it is. The chair holds you. The wall stops your hand. And everyone around you sees the same chair, the same wall. So the world must be solid and real and shared. But here is what unsettles physicists. You never actually touch the world. You only ever have your brain's model of it. A model built to keep you alive, not to show you the truth. Recently, a video asked this exact question, and hundreds of thousands of people watched. Its answer was that the world is a kind of shared hallucination. That answer is everywhere right now, but it is not what the physics says. Not because the world is solid in the way you think, but because real physics gives a stranger and more honest answer. Why do 8 billion people see the same world? Physics has a real answer, and the answer is not hallucination. An older tradition had already drawn the same line, and the people borrowing it today got it backwards. Start with what is actually true. Your brain does not show you the world directly, it builds a model of it. Light hits your eye, sound hits your ear. From those signals, your brain makes its best guess, and that guess is what you experience. You never experience the world directly. You experience your brain's model of it. This part is not mysticism. It is mainstream neuroscience. A cognitive scientist named Donald Hoffman took it further. He argues that evolution never tuned us for truth. It tuned us for survival. His comparison is a computer desktop. The blue folder on your screen is not really blue. It is not really a square. Underneath, there are only circuits and voltages. The icon is a useful fiction. Hoffman says our whole picture of the world is like that icon, a survival interface, not a window onto reality. He even has a theorem for it. In his models, perceptions tuned to fitness beat, perceptions tuned to truth. Now, this is where the popular videos take a leap. They say, if perception is an interface, then the world is a hallucination. Nothing is real. But that does not follow. Drag that blue folder to the trash, and you still lose the file. The icon is not the truth, but deleting it has real consequences. An interface hides reality. It does not erase it. So the honest claim is narrower. What you see is a model. The model is not the world itself. That is very different from saying nothing is there. 2 honest points before we go further. First, idealism is a serious position. The idea that consciousness is fundamental and matter secondary is a real view. It is held by serious philosophers and some physicists. We are not mocking it. We are disagreeing with one overclaim, the claim that this is proven and that the world is a hallucination. Hoffman's theorem is real, but it is contested. Second, the physics we are about to use is powerful, but not finished. It explains a great deal about why we share one world. It does not, by itself, settle every question about quantum reality. So, hold both. The popular answer is not crazy. It is just less careful than the physics allows. Before physics, consider something. Wherever you are, other people could walk in right now. They would see the same room, the same objects, the same light. If the world were just your private hallucination, Why would it match theirs so perfectly? Hold that, without answering yet. Your private model is somehow a shared world. That is the puzzle physics had to solve. For a century, physics had a problem. The quantum world is blurry. A particle can be in many states at once. But the world you see is sharp. A chair is here, not smeared across the room. So where does the sharp, solid world come from? Part of the answer is a process called decoherence. Nothing is ever truly isolated. Every object is constantly touched by its environment, air, light, heat. Each of those tiny interactions is a kind of measurement. And those interactions wash out the quantum blur almost instantly. What survives is a small set of stable states. The physicist Wojciech Zurek calls them pointer states. A chair settles into being a chair, not because someone looked, because the environment never stops touching it. Now here is the part that answers our question. When light bounces off that chair, it carries information away. And it makes many copies of that information, scattered across billions of photons. Zurek calls this quantum Darwinism. The most stable states get copied the most. They get broadcast into the environment over and over. So you do not need to touch the chair to know it is there. You just intercept a few of the copies. And so does everyone else in the room. You all read the same broadcast. That, in quantum Darwinism, is why independent observers agree on the same chair. This is the answer the popular videos miss. We do not share the world because of a synchronized hallucination. In this account, the environment copies reality into many redundant records, and anyone can read them. The shared world is not a trick of the mind. In quantum Darwinism, it is broadcast, copied into the environment, for anyone to read. So the world is real and shared. Decoherence helps explain how. But that is not the whole story. Return to the boy from 1939, Bernard d'Espagnat. He spent his life on the foundations of quantum theory. And he reached a careful conclusion. The world physics describes is real, but it is not reality as it is in itself. He called what lies underneath the veiled reality. There is something there, independent of us, truly real, but we only ever see it through a veil, in a partial and abstract form. Heisenberg had said something similar decades earlier. What we observe, he wrote, is not nature itself, it is nature exposed to our method of questioning. For this work, d'Espagnat won the Templeton Prize in 2009. And he said something striking. That what we glimpse through science, art, and spirituality may be fragments of the same veiled reality. But he was careful. He warned against using it to prove any doctrine. Now the ancient tradition. And here the popular videos make their biggest mistake. They borrow from Advaita Vedanta, an Indian philosophy. They say it teaches that the world is an illusion, a hallucination. It does not. And the difference is everything. The philosopher Shankara described 3 levels of reality. The first is the dream level, private, yours alone. A snake you think you see in a coiled rope. The second is the everyday level, the shared world, tables, people, cause and effect, real, and the same for everyone awake. The third is the absolute, the ground beneath it all. A hallucination lives on the first level, private, dreamlike. But the shared world lives on the second level. Shankara calls it empirically real, just not ultimately real. When he says the world is Maya, he does not mean it is nothing. He means it is a misreading of something real, like seeing a snake where there is truly a rope. The rope is there. Your fear is real. You have just mistaken what it is. So classical Advaita never treated the shared world as a private hallucination. It said the shared world is real, but not the final truth. Now place the two side by side. Physics says the everyday world is real and genuinely shared, and yet Despagnat says a deeper reality stays veiled behind it. Advaita says the everyday world is real and shared, and yet it points to a deeper reality behind it too. They are not making the same claim. Physics explains the mechanism. Advaita asks about meaning. But the shape of their answer rhymes. The world you see is real. It is truly shared, and it is not the last word. So what is behind the veil? Here, both sides go quiet in an honest way. Physics can describe the structure of the deeper reality. It cannot say what it is in itself. A map can describe a continent in perfect detail, but the map never becomes the continent. The equations work. They predict what we measure with stunning accuracy, but they do not tell us what the world is underneath. Despagnat thought we could only glimpse it, never grasp it. Advaita said the absolute cannot be captured in concepts at all. It can only be realized directly. Notice the strange agreement. The deepest layer of reality is the one that neither equations nor words can fully reach. That is not a failure. It is the honest edge of knowing. Now test the real claim, not the hype, the careful one. Keep your eyes open. Look at the room around you. It is real. It is solid enough to live in, and anyone here would see the same room. Now notice the second fact. You are not seeing the room directly. You are seeing your brain's model of it, built from light, sound, and a lifetime of guesses. Both are true at once. The world is really there, and you only ever meet it through a veil. Sit with that, without collapsing it either way. You are not in a hallucination, and you are not seeing the final truth. You are somewhere stranger, reading the broadcast of a real world through the only interface you have. In 1939, a 17-year-old wondered if the world was what it seemed. It took him 70 years and the rest of physics to answer. The world is real. You are not imagining it. It is genuinely shared. The environment broadcasts it to everyone. But it is not reality as it is in itself. There is a veil, and we see through it, only in part. The popular story says nothing is real. The careful story is stranger. Everything is real. You just are not seeing all of it. A modern physicist and an ancient sage both stopped at the same veil. Neither claimed to see behind it. Ancient wisdom, quantum mystery, direct knowing. If you want the physics that explains the shared world, the next investigation goes deeper into quantum Darwinism. It is in the description.